Hi there, my name is Bisola Miriam, and I'm a second semester master student in the Department of Communication Studies. My research interests include interpersonal violence, domestic abuse, abusive communication in interpersonal relationship, and lastly, social justice for victims of abusive relationships. So in this video, I will be talking to you about the reasons that I think I should be selected or appointed the chair of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. Now, I'd like to tell you briefly about me, and then I'll talk to you about the five objectives that I hope to work with the GSA to help the D&I committee achieve. Introduction. I am from Nigeria, and I'm an international student here, obviously from Nigeria. I also happen to be the founder of a non-profit organization, the Left-Handers International Organization in Nigeria. The Left-Handers International Organization is an advocacy-based organization through which we hope to sensitize Africans about the need to mitigate or reduce forced hand switching, especially of left-handed children. Now, I came up with 5 objectives that I think would help us provide a more inclusive, a more diverse community for graduate students, especially here at the University of Alabama. The very first thing that I've identified that I think we can work on together as a committee, and by extension with the support of the GSA and the International Student Office, is to improve on student experience through the provision of international markets. I believe that if we have an international market that international students who come from different parts of the world can have ready access to, especially with regards to food and healthcare products, we can make life easier for international students who come from different countries and who of course represent different cultures. One thing we can do that we will be able to achieve through this international market or through, and by extension student experience, is that would help the student to feel close to home. The second thing that I believe we can work on is to improve on capacity building and provide workshops for F2 visa holders or spouses of students. Now, a lot of students here get very busy with school life, and sometimes they might not be able to create fun activities or events for their dependents or their spouses. I believe that if we organize workshops and events that are inclusive, or especially for F2 visa holders, we also help them or spouses of students will be able to support their experience to help them have better experience here in the University of Alabama, even though they are not students themselves, because a lot of events or activities focus on students and really don't focus on spouses or dependents of these students, whether they are domestic students or international students. The third thing that I think we can work on is to provide discounted childcare services to domestic and international students who have children. So I know that there are student parents among us, and we can make sure that the University of Alabama provides discounted or makes available discounted services to students who are parents. Now, a lot of students rely on stipends, and I cannot imagine that being a student and the fact that I rely solely on student, I pay the same rate to have my children get cared for or taken care of by at the University Child Care Center at the rate that a fully at the rate at which other members of the university community would pay. So we can work to make sure that students who have children have discounted childcare services made available to them by the University of Alabama. The fourth thing that I want to talk to you about that I think we can work on is funding. We can make information about diverse sources of funding available to students or to graduate students especially. No, a lot of students only think about fellowships, scholarships. They do not even know that there are sources of funding that recognize their uniqueness or the fact that they are diverse or their diversity. So we can make information available to students and let them know that there are other sources of funding that they might not even be aware of, and that recognizes and appreciates their social construct or the whatever it is that makes them different from others. The last point that I want us to work on that I think is going to benefit GSA, especially with the attendance at GSA town hall meetings or our overall representation across campus or across the university or within the university community, is to work closely with Tuscaloosa International Friends Family and other student organizations to make room for adequate representation or inclusive representation of students from different departments, and that would improve the attendance that we have during town hall meetings. These are the different ways that I think, if I have the opportunity to serve as the chair of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, I can work side by side, hand in hand with the leadership of the Graduate Student Association and of course the leadership of the university, so that we can work to, one, improve student experience by creating international markets, two, providing capacity building workshops and trainings for dependents of students or spouses of students, and of course F2 visa holders. In addition to that, I hope that we can also work together to make diverse information about diverse sources of funding available to students. Also, I believe that we can work hand in hand to ensure that we have more inclusive representation during town hall meetings. And finally, we also have discounted childcare services made available to both domestic and international students. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I hope that this helps to clarify. God bless you.